A single semicolon helped a Texas Supreme Court ruling declare the 1873 gubernatorial election unconstitutional, yet Richard Koch took power anyway. The 1869 Texas Constitution required elections at county seats with polls open for 4 days. It also let lawmakers change election arrangements. The constitutional wording placed a semicolon before the 4-day polling requirement. In 1873, lawmakers moved voting to local precincts and reduced it to 1 day. The court read the semicolon as separating location from duration. After Joseph Rodriguez was arrested in Harris County amid allegations of voting twice, the court unanimously granted his petition challenging his detention. It held the 1-day limit unconstitutional, effectively voiding Koch's election. The case reached the court after Rodriguez sought review of his arrest. The ruling was never enforced. Koch's supporters entered the governor's offices, Koch was inaugurated, and the court later became known as the Semicolon Court. The 2011 tsunami destroyed Rikuzentakata's former city center, but one 3-story building remained, and its owner survived on its chimney. The building stood 14 meters tall. Once an insurance branch, it later housed Yonezawa's packaging business, packaging materials and bento boxes for wholesale and retail. After the earthquake toppled shelves, Yuichi Yonezawa returned while a tsunami warning was active, searching for family. He climbed from the 2nd floor to the roof, then up a penthouse ladder to a chimney roughly 15 meters high. The water rose to about 20 centimeters below him. He wrote SOS in mud on the roof and a helicopter rescued him. Months later, inspection found the building's structure undamaged despite ruined windows, walls, and ceiling. Yonezawa preserved it with his own money as a memorial to those lost in the tsunami. It became the only building left in the former city center. During World War II, a small preservation mission tracked stolen art instead of fighting as a conventional unit, and helped return more than 5 million objects. The Monuments, Fine Arts and Archives section worked to protect important artistic and cultural treasures during armed conflict. Its work focused on safeguarding those treasures while war threatened them. Researchers and field officers traced looted works through records, photographs, and investigations, connecting scattered evidence to objects taken across Nazi-occupied Europe. Those sources gave investigators leads when ownership and locations had been disrupted by the systematic looting. The documented total was more than 5 million stolen objects returned, showing the operation reached far beyond a few famous paintings. The figure describes a recovery effort measured in millions, not isolated masterpieces. Later, Robert Edsel and the Monuments Men Foundation found 4 leather-bound photographic albums documenting part of the looting operation. They donated them to the United States National Archives. A stone urn dated 1494 bears the Ryūkyū Kingdom's oldest known inscription containing Japanese characters, created during King Sho-shin's reign. It rests inside Orokubaka, a cliff tomb in present-day Jinyuan built between the 14th and 15th centuries. A wall window makes the principal urn visible from outside. Its dedicatory inscription combines traditional Chinese characters with Japanese hiragana and names Yuruku Yufyakumui, a high-level land administrator in Shuri's royal government. Yuruku identifies a place, Yufyakumui identifies an official function. The urn is dolerite, a dark stone imported from the Fujian area of China, documenting regional exchange. Only 3 other period Okinawan tombs had stone urns imported from China, all royal mausolea. Its low-relief columns, figures, tiled roof, and carved dragons preserve an artistic style earlier than documented works from 1498 and 1501. One funerary object therefore connects language, rank, sculpture, and international links in Ryūkyū. El Salvador's 1982 presidential election had 3 candidates, yet the armed forces approved all 3 before the Constitutional Assembly voted. On 29 April, the public watched an indirect election. Assembly members, not the general population, selected a provisional president in a public session. It was the assembly elected in March to draft a new constitution, not a nationwide ballot for competing presidential candidates. Alvaro Magana won 36 votes. Hugo Cesar Barrera received 17 while 7 members abstained, turning a military-approved shortlist into a recorded choice. Magana became president on 2 May, El Salvador's first civilian president in more than 50 years. He served as provisional president while the assembly prepared a new constitution. The title did not mean full control. The presidency was largely symbolic, while greater power rested with the military and assembly president Roberto D'Aubuisson. The assembly adopted that constitution on 20 December 1983. A Byzantine account described Bulgarian Prince Boyan as a magician who could suddenly turn into a wolf. Almost nothing is known about his personal life. Boyan was Veniamin, the fourth and youngest son of Emperor Simeon I, probably born around 910. His 2 names reflected Bulgaria's Christian and older traditions. The claim comes from Liutprand of Cremona, who recorded it during a mission to the Byzantine court in 968. He wrote that Boyan could change before witnesses into a wolf or any other beast. That report linked Boyan with magic, and later traditions connected him with the Varkalak, a Bulgarian werewolf concept. Literary works then expanded him into a mystical protector and magician. Because the historical record is so thin, later writers had little biography to restrain the legend. Boyan moved from a scarcely documented prince into a lasting figure of Bulgarian literature and folklore. Magong First Fishing Port opened in 1940, suffered severe damage from U.S. air raids in 1945, was largely restored around 1955, and became a yacht marina in 2017. Japan built the separate port after wartime trade restrictions turned the original Magong harbor into a military port, ending its use for fishing and commerce. Hokko Prefecture reused stone from dismantled sections of Magong Wall for reclamation, embankments, and dock walls. 2 breakwaters created berths for up to 60 vessels, alongside an ice plant and fish market. The 1945 raids severely damaged the harbor area. Afterward, limited government finances made reconstruction depend on material assistance from the Catholic Church and labor mobilized from local residents. Most port functions returned around 1955, but fishing later shifted toward newer facilities. In 2017, the first fishing port became a yacht marina, changing working berths into recreational waterfront space for visiting yachts. In a 1952 speech written for President Sukarno, Wisaksona Wirjadiharjo called productive rice land a matter of life or death. He warned against replacing prime fields with golf courses. He wrote the speech for an agriculture faculty groundbreaking ceremony at the University of Indonesia in Bogor. The setting linked education directly to Indonesia's post-colonial institution building. Wisaksono's reasoning came from soil fertility chemistry and practical food planning. His 3-year prosperity plan combined better seeds, fertilizer, mixed farming, livestock, and fisheries. The plan aimed at food self-sufficiency by 1956, making farmland a strategic resource rather than spare space for amenities. Its target depended on raising harvests and producing more meat and fish. The warning therefore connected a field's use to national food supply before farmland conversion became a familiar policy question. A golf course could occupy land that the plan needed to feed a growing nation.